get into the truck after you. But once we get that solid light, we'll be able to head on in. Might be a good time to go ahead and get those cameras ready. Might want to put them on a sports mode, maybe a fast action mode. The animals are always moving, always on the move, and you never know when you'll find one. Now, as far as our little ones go, we do allow lap sitting, so if you wanted to place them on your lap, you're more than welcome. We just ask you, do not lift them up. They are not Simba. You are not Rafiki. Alrighty, my friends, if you take a look out on your right-hand side, you might see an okapi. Now, an okapi, it looks like it could be related to the zebra, maybe have some zebra pants on, but it's actually not related to the zebra at all. It's more closely related to the giraffe, and we know this because of its skull structure and very long tongue. Now, an okapi was not found until 1901. That just shows you that you can find new species almost at any time. You can also see a bongo coming up there. Bongos are known to be the ghosts of the forest, very rarely seen. Bongos, male and female, do have those large horns. It's a little bit harder to tell them apart. But bongos camouflage really well with those stripes on them. And then coming up on your left-hand side are some saddle-billed storks, those birds there. Saddle-billed storks can stand to be almost 5 foot tall with a wingspan of nearly 9 feet. That's almost as long as a turtle baba, so do have a really long wingspan.
Now there's going to be a rhino on your side.
Looks like there's another bongo on the hill, but you can also see a black rhino on the left side. Black rhinos are the smaller of the rhino species, weighing only about 3,000 pounds. There's only about 5,000 left on this planet, and that's just due to poaching. Now, poaching is the hunting for those horns. Some cultures do believe that their horns have a majestical value. There's another one there on your left side.
Oh, that was me on my side.
But really, they're just made out of keratin, which is just like our fingernails and our hair, so not very magical at all. Coming up on your right side, you'll also see some more bongos, but there's also a greater kudu there, a tan animal. Now, greater kudus are one of the taller of the antelopes, standing almost 55 inches at the shoulder. That greater kudu is a female, we can tell, because it does not have horns. The males will have really long horns that grow to be nearly 6 foot long in length. Now, those bongos and greater kudus do have very long, what was I saying? Bongos and greater kudus do have stripes on them that allow them to camouflage really well. But it looks like this greater kudu's head is in the road, so we're going to sit here for just a moment. Now, I am kind of short, so I can't really see anything. Yeah, he's kind of in the road, so we're going to sit here for just a moment. I do have to let my warden know, though. All right, he decided to back up, or she decided to back up, so we're going to keep on going. Now we're going to head towards the Safi River. The Safi River is more of an aquatic area, home to aquatic animals, so we're going to keep our eyes on the water. That's usually where you'll find them. All right, now here in the Safi River, it is home to some like the Nile crocodile, maybe even a Nile hippo. But Nile hippos can be a little bit harder to spot. That's because they can hold their breath for almost 8 minutes, and every 8 minutes they'll come up to breathe. I do see one right beside the palm trees there on your right side. Looks like a large rock under the water, so don't be fooled by the shadow there. Coming up on your left side, you might be able to see some pink-backed pelicans. Those are the large white birds. Those pink-backed pelicans get their name from the color that their backs change during mating season, which of course is a pinkish color. And they're known for colonial nesting, meaning that they nest in large groups, while the males and females do take care of that nest. And a group of pink-backed pelicans will be known as a pod. But it looks like we're going to head out of the Safi River, going over a small bridge. If you take a look on your bottom left-hand side, you'll see some Nile crocodiles. Nile crocodiles are the largest crocodilian in Africa, growing to be almost 16 foot long in length. Sometimes you'll see them laying on the banks with their mouths open. They're not actually smiling at us. What they're doing is regulating their body temperature. And they do have very strong jaws, in which they use to break things like bones. So with that being said, we're going to head on out of here. We're going to head into a whole new ecosystem. This new ecosystem is known as the Savannahs. Now here in the Savannahs, these animals, they do not camouflage very well. They would have been on something else known as their speed. So they must be able to run really fast in order to get away from any predators that could be near. Now the Savannahs is home to some like the Ankoli cattle, giraffe, maybe even a zebra. So we're going to head on down and see what we can find. peek at what's to come. And heading down into the Savannahs, I do see a couple of grazers over there. Kind of hard to see what they are with the sun in our face, but if you look over on your right hand side, I see some Ankoli cattle and also some wildebeest there. Wildebeest are the largest herding animals. I actually herd at about 1.5 million. So when born, those wildebeest must be able to run within an hour, or else they do have the potential to get left behind, because their groups are always moving, always migrating. Alright, out on your left-hand side, I do see some African wild dogs there, also known as African painted dogs. They're very family-oriented animals, so if one gets hurt, they will not leave that one behind. They do stay back to protect each other. And each and every one of their fur coats are unique in their own way, so they can tell each other apart really easily.
Where are the hyenas then?
They're up right now.
Now we have 2 hyenas.
Alright, coming up on our left and right side, you'll see some termite mountains. These termite mounds are made out of dirt and saliva. The larger animals like the giraffes or the elephants will use them as a scratching post, so it does mean that their heart is nearly concrete, while the smaller animals like the springbok will use them to sit on, looking out for any predators, maybe even hiding in between. You can also see the wildebeest over on your right hand side. Wildebeest are the largest herding animals. They'll actually herd at about 1.5 million. So when born, those wildebeest must be able to run within an hour, or else they do have the potential to get left behind, because their groups are always moving, always migrating. Wildebeest get their name from the Afrikaner name wildebeest. Now if you look out on your right hand side, you'll also see the Ankoli cattle. Now the Ankoli cattle's horns look like they could be really heavy, but they're actually not. They're made out of a honeycomb-like structure which pumps blood vessels through in order to keep them cool. So they only weigh about 5 to 10 pounds each. Not very heavy in comparison to their body weights. They're also known as Watusi cattle. Some cultures do believe the more cattle you have, the more wealthier you are. So Maasai tribes do try and protect them by pushing them towards Bongos at night. Look out at your right hand side, you'll be able to see a couple more wildebeest. Some of them are also known as white-bearded wildebeest, because if you look really closely, you'll be able to see that they do have a white beard.
Scooby's a white beard. Scooby.
Now wildebeest are grazers as well, so they'll do all those landscaping for us. Alrighty, coming up on our left-hand side, you might be able to see some Maasai giraffes. We can tell they are Maasai giraffes because of the pattern on their skin. More of a rickety pattern in comparison to the other giraffe species. When born, they're already about 6 foot tall, and they can grow to be anywhere from 18 to 20 feet tall. Very large animals. Now, they spend most of their days eating, only about 30 minutes resting. Since they eat so much, they do have a purplish blue tongue that's just to protect it from the sun. That way their tongue does not get sunburned. They also have the highest blood pressure of all the animals at about 300/200. That way they can pump blood all the way to the tippy tops of their heads. And then a group of giraffes, so they don't have a tower. So there we have a tower. Now it looks like we're gonna head into Mandrill Hills, see what we can find over here. Now I do see some knockdown trees. That might even mean elephants are near. We'll keep a lookout, see if we can find any. Past what? There's an elephant back there? Oh, y'all got me fooled. Alright, I'm gonna turn right this corner right here. We'll be able to see a little bit better. Let's see. Y'all see it?
Yep.
I don't see it. Oh, y'all are really good. Y'all are better than me. It has been a long day, though. All right, let's see if we can find more elephants. Now this is about our halfway point through our journey, so just as a reminder, remain seated, keeping our hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck at all times. Make sure we're keeping our face covered some. We're going to head towards the red clay pits. Now the red clay pits are actually used by elephants, so maybe we'll see some more elephants over here. Now they tend to eat large amounts of red clay, and that's because it works as a source of vitamin and mineral for them. So kind of like how we take our vitamins daily, the elephants do the same thing by eating red clay. So we're going to keep a lookout for any tusk marks, footprints, or anything like that, showing that elephants might be here. Alright, I do see some tusk marks there on our right hand side. We've made it all the way into elephant country, so now we're all going to keep a lookout, see if we can find some more elephants. I do see one there on your left hand side on the other side of the rock, so we're going to try and get a little bit closer view. Now we've actually learned through the Disney Conservation Fund that elephants are afraid of bees. So we brought this to Africa and began building beehive fences. And with these beehive fences, we're able to protect the farmers' farmland and also create another source of income for the farmers with honey. But you're probably wondering why these large elephants are afraid of tiny bees. Well, it's because their ears are really sensitive. So buzzing sound is much louder to them than it would be to us. Now if you look out on your left hand side, you'll see some elephants over there. Now the female elephants, they like to stay together in groups of moms, aunts, cousins, and sisters, while the males will also stay together in groups called bachelors. Now sometimes you'll see the elephants throwing dirt or hay on their back. They actually do that to protect their backs from the sun, and it also cools themselves down. Now you'll also see them with these baobab trees. They poke holes in the baobab trees. That's good because the baobab trees hold lots of water in them. So animals like the elephants or other horned animals can drink the water out of it during the drought seasons. If you look out on your left-hand side, you'll be able to see one of our youngest elephants there. She's about 4 years old. She's on the other side of that tree. So she's got a lot of growing to do to grow to be as big as Mom at 15,000 pounds. Out on your left-hand side are some flamingos. These are the greater flamingos. They are the tallest of all the flamingo species. If you look closely, you'll be able to see a couple of them there, kind of gray and white. Those are the youngest ones. They turn their full pink colors at about 18 months old. And they'll turn their full pink colors from the shrimp that they eat, which contains beta-carotene. And then a group of flamingos will be known as a flamboyants. Now, if you look out on your left-hand side, you'll actually see a little bit better view of the baby elephant over there. Now, I say baby, she's more like a toddler. But when born, they're already about 150 pounds, so they've got a lot of growing to do. But female elephants are pregnant for nearly 22 months. That's almost 2 full years of pregnancy. But we're going to head into the west side of Savannah, see what we can find over here. Now, I do see some scimitar horned oryx on our left-hand side. Those oryx can almost 9 months while drinking water, and their bodies will not break a sweat until you reach almost 115 degrees. They get their name from the way that their horns are shaped, kind of shaped like scimitar swords. Out on your right-hand side, there is a water buck coming down that pathway. Water bucks spend their days near and around the water. They do really like the water, so their skin secretes a substance that makes their fur waterproof, but it also kind of makes them stinky. They're basically also kind of the opposite animals of the oryx, since the oryx can go so long without water. We're going to head into big cat territory, see if we can find any big cats. If you look on your left-hand side, I do already see a cheetah up there, but it's camouflaging in really well. So we're going to keep on going and see if we can find a little bit better view of another cheetah. Cheetahs are the fastest running land animals. They have non-retractable claws, meaning that their claws are always out. And they can grab the ground and run really fast. Now, just because those cheetahs can run so fast does not mean they catch their prey very well. They have low stamina, so they get tired in nearly 60 seconds, even though they can run up to 70 miles per hour. Not catching any more, so we're going to keep on going and head towards the Kopi Rocks. Now, the Kopi Rocks is just a large formation of rocks used by many different animals. Some like to sit on them looking out for predators, maybe even prey.
sleeping.
A little bit harder to see. The sun's kind of in our faces here.
Where are the lions at?
Alright, I'm not quite seeing anything over on our left side, but over on your right side, you might catch another glimpse of that water buck. Ooh, there's a bontebok there. Now that bontebok was almost extinct in the 20th century. There's only about 17 left of its kind. So one farmer gathered all the bonteboks up. They began to breed, and now there's about 3,000 left on different reserves, just like this one. Kind of shows you how one person can make a difference, just like you. Now coming up on your left-hand side, I do see some lions over there. Now the male lions, they will actually stay back and protect the pride. While the female lions, they will do all the hunting. And they'll do all their hunting at night. That's because their night vision is 6 times better than a human's. Now you can tell one there is a male because of his mane. His mane can weigh almost 40 pounds by itself. But they're nocturnal animals, they spend most of their days sleeping or resting. And the females, like I said, they'll do all their hunting, but the male lions have a really loud roar. They can be heard up to almost 5 miles away. So if you're staying somewhere close like the Wilderness Lodge, you might be able to hear the lion roaring early in the morning, maybe later in the evening when they're most active. Alright, you can see that bontebok again on your right hand side, but you'll also be able to see the water bucks and some ostrich eggs. Now those ostrich eggs weigh about 3 pounds each, and they're so dense that a grown man could stand on them and they would not break. That's because ostriches are very large birds, so you want to ensure when they sit on them they don't break them. Now not all of those ostrich eggs will hatch, only about half of them will, because only about half of them are fertile, just like regular chicken eggs. Alrighty, looks like we're gonna head into Magadi Glen. Magadi Glen is the newest part of the reserve, so they are in the works and in the makings. Now Magadi Glen is home to the warden's post and some of his reducing, reusing, and recycling materials. Now you can also see that the warden has been working on one of those beehive fences that we were talking about earlier. It's going to be the yellow feeder looking thing. That's actually a beehive fence, so it will have the bees inside of them. Now you can see he's been doing some reducing, reusing, and recycling, and even reducing his use of water and heat by hanging up his clothes there. Now when you reduce, reuse, and recycle, you're protecting animals for centuries to come. So you're walking around today, you finish your bottle of water, don't throw it in the trash can, toss it in the recycling bin. Disney has many recycling bins throughout their parks and their resorts. And then if you have other materials you're not sure if you can recycle or not, feel free to ask any of our Disney cast members. We'll be more than happy to help you learn about the recycling and its process. Now say reducing, reusing, and recycling is not enough for you. You want to do even more. You can actually donate to the Disney Conservation Fund. And you can donate at any of our merchandise locations. And Disney does match it dollar for dollar. So it's kind of like donating double. So when you're walking out tonight, you want to go ahead and head to the merchandise shop and get you a cute little souvenir. Well, when you get that souvenir, they're going to ask if you want to donate. Now, you can donate change. Every penny does count. But if you donate a full dollar, you actually get a cute little button just showing off that you donated. And it kind of works as a second souvenir. And you also help these animals. Now, it's not just these animals that we're trying to save. We're trying to save animals throughout the entire world, in Africa, Asia, everywhere. We want to try and help them survive for centuries to come, like those white rhinos and black rhinos, because they are being poached. But looks like we are going to head around to our second docking area. That way we can go ahead and try and unload